Ah! It's my intro. Hello, everyone. We're back again for episode 11. My name's Rhys. Leng doggy doggy. Feels fucking weird when I say it myself. I'm not going to do that again. My name's just Rhys. And with me I have the Prince Among Men.
Hello. Do you know next week
Yeah.
is going to be our 12th episode, which
Yeah.
means we would have been doing this for a quarter of a year.
A quarter of a year. How long it's been. What
It's
a
crazy.
strange
It's crazy,
journey it's
innit?
been.
It's crazy.
I was thinking that the other day. I was like, there's at least 10 hours spent just sat here talking absolute waffle.
Shite.
I love it. Today is the release of Rings of Power. And I can't be more fucking excited. I want to get this hour out the way. I want to be done with this episode. So I can go and fucking watch it, please. Because I've been avoiding spoilers all fucking day. All day.
Gandalf dies.
I know it's not true. But I can't fucking wait. I cannot wait. Two whole episodes. A minimum of 2 hours is sitting there waiting for my viewing pleasure. And I'm all for it. So,
What food you going to eat with it? You can't watch something like that and not eat stuff.
see, I don't know if I'm going to have had dinner by then. I'm not sure. I might even treat myself and go and get a kebab.
Ooh.
I was about to say, I hope Steph doesn't hear that. Because she's not going to hear that until next week when she listens to it. Sorry if we hadn't had a kebab already, Steph. I apologise. So I don't know, but I agree. Snacks will be needed because I will be glued to the screen. But I need to be shoveling food in my mouth while I'm doing it.
That's the problem I have. Obviously, I'm trying to diet properly. I'm back in the gym, trying to get myself ship shape. I struggle to watch things on telly without eating something.
Without doing something.
I just get fidgety.
Yeah, I normally flick on my phone, and Steph goes, "You're not fucking watching it." I go, "I'm listening."
Yeah, see, I can't do that because that annoys me. I'm on Steph's side. That's infuriating. Jem's like, "Oh, should we watch something?" Oh, go on then. We watch that, and then she's sitting on her phone. It infuriates me.
Yeah, but that's infuriating for you because whatever you're watching, you ain't interested in.
Yeah.
So, if you was watching something that you was interested in, and she was flicking on her phone.
Well, neither here nor there, is it? You wanted to watch something, well, let's watch it then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I can listen.
No, it's not good enough.
I won't be doing it during Rings of Power. That's all I'm saying. I'll be eating, and my phone will be away from me. I might even put it in a different room.
I always think Doritos are a good...
I hate Doritos.
Ugh.
I
Get out.
I don't hate them, but they're never a crisp that I'm going to pick up over anything else.
What's the go-to then?
McCoy's. I really like McCoy's. Salt and vinegar.
way.
Or Discos. Squares. Anything salt and vinegar is normally what I go for.
Discos I can get behind. They are flavoursome.
Discos are
Delicious.
top tier. So strange. We've got our little list of things that we're going to talk about. First thing I want to talk about, or we want to talk about, is the new Assassin's Creed that has been leaked and then announced, and we'll find out more on the 10th of September.
Assassin's Creed Mirage.
I am looking forward to finding out some more info on it, if I'm honest, because I think it could be quite decent. I feel like they're going back to their roots is something that I'm paraphrasing, is what I see. And that they're going to focus less on the open world aspect and more on the stealth mission side of things, which to me sounds like they are going back to what Assassin's Creed used to be like. And I'm all for it.
Let me read this from Kotaku.
Go for it.
Ubisoft officially reveals Assassin's Creed Mirage after protagonist leaks. So what actually happened was there was loads of leaks, and then Ubisoft obviously just got a bit annoyed and was like, yeah, all right. And they tweeted basically saying, yeah, the next game is called Assassin's Creed Mirage. We'll show you more next week.
They probably leaked it themselves.
That's quite a possibility. A bit of artwork from the long-rumoured Assassin's Creed Mirage appeared to leak late last night, then this morning. Ubisoft finally confirmed that the game is real, maybe earlier than it had intended to make the official reveal. It's quite a leaky ship over there. Late yesterday, a piece of artwork that appeared to be related to an upcoming entry in Ubisoft's long-running stealth action series popped up online, sporting an Assassin's Creed Mirage logo. It depicts a white-hooded figure staring down a shadowy form wielding a curved sword. The exact context is unclear, but it's possible the leaked image is tied to future DLC planned for the just announced game. Assassin's Creed Mirage, previously codenamed Rift, is the follow-up to 2020's Vikings-themed Valhalla, set in 9th century Baghdad and originally planned as an expansion to Valhalla. Mirage will put Valhalla supporting character Basim ibn Ishaq in the lead role, feature a more condensed world to explore and focus primarily on stealth gameplay. Many of these deets... I hate that word. I hate that word.
A 16-year-old wrote this article.
Details.
These deets.
Many of these details, I'm going to say, were already uncovered by Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier in February. Jason Schreier, one of the leakers that I've always said is top tier. And never really gets anything wrong. With Schreier saying that the game will land... It doesn't say saying, but I can't read that word. Purporting that the game will land sometime in spring 2023. Now, between the leaked image and Ubisoft's official announcement tweet, we've got our first glimpse of what Mirage will look like. And while it isn't much yet, it at least looks like a quintessential Assassin's Creed. As you can see from the images above, which you can't see, just Google them. The leaked art shows a hooded assassin equipped with a short sword and the iconic hidden blade. They're standing in what appears to be a sandy crypt of some sort, preparing to face off against someone with a curved sword. Emblazoned over one of the images is the text 40 Thieves' Quest, which refers to a Middle Eastern fable about a prince taking revenge against Mongol invaders. The style of the leaked image is identical to the style Ubisoft had previously used for promotional artwork tied to DLC and other Assassin's Creed games, such as Valhalla's The Legacy of Beowulf. That's very true, that does look very similar. It's the sort of image you'd see advertising add-on content on a Ubisoft's official store page. Some believe Ubisoft itself accidentally leaked the artwork through its store. On the other hand, an exchange Schreier had with someone on Twitter suggests the leak may have been the work of some external party. Either way, Ubisoft is cracking down on the leaked piece of artwork, issuing takedown notices and scrubbing it from the internet as fast as it can.
Why?
You know how that goes, though.
It's out. It's already out. And it's not... They aren't standing in front of a little figure. It's a massive motherfucker with a huge sword. The first thing I thought when I saw that was Prince of Persia. It looks fantastic.
In any case, it's possible the image leaking late last night is the reason Ubisoft decided to officially confirm Assassin's Creed Mirage's existence, setting and protagonist this morning, 10 days ahead of the game's planned appearance in Ubisoft forward presentation on September the 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. They tweeted, Assassin's Creed Mirage is the next Assassin's Creed game. We can't wait to tell you more on September the 10th. When reached for comment, a Ubisoft representative simply pointed Kotaku to its official tweet as confirmation of Mirage's existence. Mirage isn't the only Assassin's Creed game Ubisoft is working on right now. The studio is also developing a live service project codenamed Infinity, which will reportedly feature different but interconnected Assassin's Creed games, with ongoing content updates adding more settings and timelines. However, other details have been revealed about this project as of yet. It should say how other details have not been revealed. I think it should say, but it doesn't say that. But yeah, that was I can't.
An article.
There was an article from Kotaku. I'm sorry, I can't find the Levi Winslow.
Yes.
So yeah, shout out to Kotaku and Levi Winslow for that article. But yeah, that's basically what's
It's very limited information. They must be pissed because if they didn't intentionally leak that themselves, you must be annoyed if you weren't prepared to announce that until... Well, saying that, though, they've got their thing on the 10th. So if that was something that they were going to announce then, it's not really too much of an issue.
It's probably a leak intentionally to drum up the interest for the presentation.
Yeah, I think it does look good from the two images I've seen.
So your standpoint on Assassin's Creed Mirage, from what you've heard, going back to the roots, that excites you greatly?
Yeah, because it as we've discussed before, the current Assassin's Creed games that are the latest ones that are out, being Valhalla, Origins, they're not they're very different to the original Assassin's Creed, and I'm not saying that they're not good games, because I know that they are, but it's not Assassin's Creed, if that makes sense. It should be labelled as something else. So if they're going to go back to the likes of Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, Black Flag, the older style, then I'm all for it. I think it could be quite good.
I know you're a huge Assassin's Creed fan, so that speaks to you. Whilst me, on the other hand, I slip on the other side where I like where they've gone with the new ones. Not entirely convinced on them, but I think they're far too big.
Way too big. They are way too big.
I think they are, unnecessarily large. Too many collectathons.
Yep.
And I know it's a common theme with people saying it, but I agree that it should just be a separate entity. They should stick to Assassin's Creed what it was, and then these games, i.e. Valhalla, it should just be Valhalla.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You could take out, all you got to do for Valhalla is slight tweaks to the story and take the Animus out, and it's nothing to do with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. They were very loosely holding on to the whole Animus side of it towards the latest games. Like you just said, you could quite easily cut that bit out.
The interesting part about it is I slogged through Valhalla, and I am, obviously, as we all know, I'm a huge Vikings fan. Shout out Ragnar Lothbrok. And that's the most excited I've been for an Assassin's Creed game ever, because there's never really been a Viking game that I can recall. And that game probably took me 3 or 4 sittings to go through. And when I say sittings, I mean playing it for a month, stopping, and then going back. It took me probably over a year to finish that game.
Yeah.
And it took me, and I pretty much, there was some times where I was messing around with side quests and stuff, but predominantly I beeline the quest. And that game took me, I think it was 90 hours.
It's a long time.
Just to do the story. But it wasn't like 90 hours of story. It was 90 hours of bloat. And when it's like a main story and it was kicking off, it was really good.
Yeah.
It just takes so long to get to the juicy bits.
Yeah. It was almost just too far over on the open world scale, because they are fucking huge. And yeah, that's the thing that put me off, is that there was just too much shit to do. There was too much shit, and it's not a sandbox. So it's not even like you could really fuck around in the environment that you're in. You are doing quests, you are doing a specific thing, so you couldn't exactly much how like something like GTA is massive, but you can fuck around on that. So you can sort of warrant it being massive, whereas things like Assassin's Creed Origins, so huge, you're just constantly doing side quests, and eventually you lose track of what it is that you're doing. It's just, I found it very difficult, having put about 60 hours into Origins, I found it very difficult to keep awake, almost like keep paying attention while I'm playing. It was very mind-numbing.
I do think they tried more with Valhalla. I think it's a bit disservice to say that you couldn't mess about in it, because you definitely could. You could go and raid any settlement you wanted. You could just pull up in your boat, pull up on foot, burn the village to the ground, plunder all the loot, steal everything, upgrade your little base. There was a lot more to it than Origins. But once again, it is just far too big.
Yeah.
And the systems in place weren't deep enough to keep you interested in it. So it was the tasks originally become, they're interesting, they're fun, but quickly they lose their novelty and become quite mundane and I don't really want to do this again.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. And I think a lot of people tread on that side of the water. But obviously you're a big Assassin's Creed fan. You've got Assassin's Creed tattoos.
I am.
So it's going to be good for you to go back to what it is. So what is it that is exciting about going back to its roots? Because the funny thing is, I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I like Valhalla and I like Origins. Once again, I'll reiterate, I don't think they should be Assassin's Creed games. But you're massively into the Animus part of it. Whereas
I love the Animus part of it.
Whereas myself, because I actually slogged through Valhalla's entire story, whenever there was a part where you could get out the Animus, I was just getting straight back in it. I weren't exploring, I weren't looking about, I was just like, get me back in the game, because they're so different worlds that I don't want to play.
Yeah, but then they eventually merge. What I love about the Animus side of it is that it's almost like you're running 2 different stories, and eventually they combine and they mold together very, very well. So I liked Desmond as a character as well. I enjoyed who he was and the relationships and the storyline that he gains from outside the Animus, and then obviously when he becomes Ezio, when he's in the Animus, I like that aspect, and I think when you dull that down and don't really pay attention to that, it's no longer what Assassin's Creed is. You see what I mean? Because Assassin's Creed 1 wasn't. I started at Assassin's Creed 2. I've played 1, but I started at 2. So 2 onwards is where my love for Assassin's Creed began, and it was very, very animus based. And then when you've got yourself into Origins and Valhalla, and I'm trying to remember the fucking one that's in between.
Odyssey.
Odyssey, that's the one. I just couldn't fucking think of the word.
Arguably my favourite one.
See, it's just too much. It's the thing with something like Assassin's Creed 2, or my other favourite, Revelations, is that although it's sort of open world, it's a little bit more linear. So you know what you're doing. It's not as easy to get distracted and do something else. And because it's not so huge, if you were to get distracted, it's not going to take you fucking 10 years to get back to what you were doing. And I like that. And I prefer the parkour on the older games than the newer games. I just prefer it. I think it's better. I think the characters have more story to them. I think they're better.
I can see. I hope they could carry on with the game that they're doing at the moment, or the game style in Valhalla and Origins and Odyssey. But obviously just take the tag of Assassin's Creed off it, because I like what they've made.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they've made, or they're making, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying they're making a Star Wars game. Which, if they put that formula into a Star Wars game, I am all there.
Imagine the parkour style of it
Just
in Star Wars
just
would be
open
mental.
world, just to how big they don't make. They make open worlds. They don't make open maps. You know, the Odyssey is like the whole of Greece. It was humongous. It took 20 minutes to sail from one island to another. It was mental. And I ended up fast travelling a lot because I got sick of doing the bloody boat stuff. But I digress. Yeah, if they can emulate that into Star Wars, oh my gosh, I'm all
You'll be away.
I will be away.
God.
Yeah, exciting stuff. So I imagine you'll be tuning in for the Assassin's Creed reveal.
Yeah. I'll be getting any info that I can, and then when we come back for our 13th episode, I'll talk about it for 5 minutes, because I will have inevitably forgotten everything that will be mentioned.
So Basim.
Yeah.
You don't know who he is then?
No, not really. I won't pretend that I do.
Well,
no.
spoilers for anyone that hasn't played Valhalla. Turn it off if you're going to play it. I'm going to try and remember loosely, because I'm struggling. So, did you play Valhalla at all?
For about an hour.
Yeah, so there's Eivor, the main character. I actually read the Valhalla book as well. That's how into it I got.
I love it.
There's Eivor, who you play as, and then he's got a brother. He's not actually his brother, but he's like adopted brother called Sigurd. And then Sigurd goes missing for a long time, and then he turns up with Basim. Who is this character? And he's all like, yeah, I've got a hidden blade. Look at this. Woo! And then I can't remember. I'm pretty sure Sigurd gives you a hidden blade, and Basim's like, no, I don't feel right about that.
Yeah, don't be doing that.
Yeah, he's like, tough cities.
Cut your fingers off.
Yeah, because he's like, take a finger, and he was like, nah.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
Nah,
We'll just use the blade with all my fingers.
Because he goes over the top rather than below. So it doesn't take fingers.
Yeah, why don't they think of that?
Yeah, it's dumb, isn't it? So yeah, that happens. But the interesting thing is, it's hard to remember exactly, but there's like another whole world in it. So you've got the Animus part of it, you've got the Valhalla part of it, or the England part of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a whole nother side to Valhalla where you go and see the witch doctor. I can't remember what they're called, seers, I believe.
Yep.
And you drink a potion, and then you go into Midgard. Basically, you essentially Kratos' world. Do you know what I mean? You're living in the land of the gods.
Yeah.
But when you go in there, you are how am I forgetting his name? Who's the leader of? Who's Thor's dad? Who's the main man?
Well, Odin.
Yeah. You're
the Norse mythology man.
I know. I had a brain fart. I don't know. Oliver. Yeah. So you play as Odin basically, and then Sigurd is someone else, and Basim is Loki. So obviously, as soon as he becomes Loki, you start to think, well, obviously he's a bit naughty. He's a bit of a trickster. So yeah, the story transpires anyway. It's all a bit convoluted and confusing. I never really understood what was going on. But the interesting part of it, right, which I never really understood, once the game finishes and you get out the Animus,
Yeah.
and where they've set up the Animus is the grave of Eivor, right? So they've got all the little numbers round his grave and all that stuff. But Basim turns up in a t-shirt, like just his normal clothes, but he's like an assassin. But I'm trying to think. I can't remember whether.
What do you mean he rocks up in a
Well, he
t-shirt?
just turns up.
Him himself?
Yeah, he's got jeans on and
So
a
how
t-shirt.
is he in one thing and then...
Well, exactly. But I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure.
And now he's in Mirage.
Yeah. But in Mirage, it's like when he was young, apparently, how he became an assassin and stuff. That's his story. But yeah, I can't remember. He either... I think what happens is they find the Animus machine, and then he gets like... He swaps places with one of them and then comes out the Animus or something. I can't remember. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, he turns up and then he's like, hello, Eivor, old friend. Like, leaning over his grave. It's weird. You'd have to YouTube it. It doesn't make any sense now I think about it. But he's a cool character. I did want to see more from him.
Yeah, well now you've got an entire fucking game coming that's going to be around him.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's been a long time since they've done an Assassin's Creed that was, the old style. So if they can... push it forward a bit into modern gaming, then I think they could have a really special game. But the Assassin's Creed games just became so stale. That's why I didn't.
What
like
a strange life cycle they have. So they started with their old one, so Assassin's Creed 1, and then have developed it into Assassin's Creed now, and it's been so long that they've now been able, potentially, obviously it's not confirmed, able to go back to their roots to make even more games based off of something that they created to begin. I find that it look like the same sort of shit with fashion. You know what I mean? How you can make something, it goes out of date, do something else, and you can go back to that in years because it'll then be back in date.
It's been so long, it'll feel fresh.
Yeah. I find that's so strange because so many games do it. World of Warcraft does it with their expansions. They always end up returning to old shit. It's quite a known thing to do, but I just find it baffling that with big, heavy-hitting games like that, or even Call of Duty, you can have little slivers of the past, but update them, and then be exciting. How fucking fantastic is that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I love it, Mum.
Cult of the Lamb.
Hold on, quickly. What sort of bees make milk?
What
sort of bees make milk?
Milk bees?
Boobies. I'm just gonna chuck in a joke every week. That's my game plan. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, carry on.
It's pathetic. Fucking boobies.
See?
Yeah, Cult of the Lamb. I finished it. Basically, I finished the game that takes 6 hours to complete. I finally did it. Got that under my belt. It only took me 2 weeks, but I've done it. Very fun. I got down to 7 people in my cult, and I finished with 29, I think, were in my cult by the end. Very good game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I probably won't even touch it again. That'll be me done. I've done it now. I don't even think it's installed on the PlayStation anymore. I think I just deleted it straight away.
You're a cutthroat, ain't you?
Because I'm done with it. I'm not going to touch it again. But I very, very much enjoyed it. Even the even making your little base and all the weird shit you can put in it. I enjoyed that. I made it. It becomes self-sufficient. I had my farming plot was farming itself and putting itself. It was harvesting itself. I loved it. And it was just, I got it to a good little state after Connor's advice on the rock refineries and the lumber yards and all that shit, and getting as many as possible to make your life easier. So I took his advice, and it did make life easier. And then lo and behold, I completed it not 2 hours later. So I very much enjoyed it. It's a good game. Ash hasn't completed it yet.
Well, can we do a little spoiler review? Just tell me what happens at the end, kind of thing.
Why?
Well, because I know I won't finish it, so it's just the way I am.
Well, you will finish it.
No, I won't. I'll never play it again, probably.
Why?
That's just the
You're
way I
done
am.
with it now.
Yeah, probably.
You've had your fun with it.
Yeah. I don't. If I'm the last to complete it, I'll give up on it.
You.
Well, just give it 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to leave if you haven't. If you want to be spoiled. Goodbye. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did you get it right? Do you fight the devil at the end?
You do fight the devil at the end. You have the option to fight the devil at the end. So you kill all 4 of the little mini boss people. Some of them are quite fucking. Oh, quickly. My game actually bugged out 4 times. Very fucking annoying. Obviously, the dungeons that you go into, they have 3 tiers, like 3 layers, and then it's that boss, isn't it, of that dungeon? Yeah. And on the last tier, they're quite long tiers, especially the last ones. And obviously, you have the different options of when you go up a level, you can. I don't know, you can go right and get yourself some fucking logs, or you can go straight and get a new follower, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I was looking to build up my cult because I only had 7 people, and every single fucking time I picked a follower, bugged out. I'd get to the follower, kill all the little minions that are in there, bar 1 that would disappear, and then I'd have to fucking reload. And then do the whole thing again, and it happened 4 times. Took 4 times before I realised to stop picking the fucking follower route. Very annoying, but I digress. Once you kill all 4 of them, the devil basically says, he was like, look, I'm going to sacrifice you now as the ultimate sacrifice. I don't need you anymore. See you later. And you either bow, bend the knee, or you refuse. But naturally, I refused, because why would you not? And then you fight. You know, he's got his 2 little cronies next to him. Mm-hmm. You fight both of them. They're a good laugh. And then you fight the devil himself. And it was quite a difficult fight. And if you defeat the 2 cronies and then start fighting the devil, if you die, you have to do the whole thing all over again. You have to beat those 2 again. And it took, I think it was like 2 or 3 attempts it took me to do it. But on one of my attempts, I got a godly weapon, which is the highest tier weapon you can have. They're quite rare to pop up, and it did like fucking 15 damage every hit, which in Cult of the Lamb is quite a lot when the average is like 2.5. So I was hitting quite heavy. I got lucky. And then that was it. And then you can go back to your little cult, and you can crack on building them up and doing whatever. You can go back into the room with the devil, but obviously the devil's not there. There's a teleport in there that you can't use anymore. But other than that, you can continue. But what's the point? Because you're done.
Well,
you know what I mean?
People ain't going to feed themselves unless they are.
Fuck them.
They're going to eat each other.
I've had enough of them now. They're done. Dead to me.
You may as well just sacrifice yourself then and just let everyone live happily ever after.
Well, I don't know what happens when you sacrifice yourself, because I haven't actually Googled what happens when you do bend the knee. So I'm not sure, because I'm sure most people will want to fight the devil. I'm not really sure what happens.
Oh, I would have bent the knee so I didn't have to fight a hard final boss and just been like, oh, that's
It's
cute.
It's not massively hard. It's just you get wrapped up in wanting to get it over with quickly, and like patience is key in those types of fights, because it follows the exact same tactics. It's the same attacks over and over again in a loop, isn't it? It's like 3 different attacks, so you know what's going to happen.
It reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy when I thought I finished the game because I picked the wrong thing. Like 10 hours in, or something. The credits rolled, and I was like, "Wow, that was an abrupt ending."
And then he rung me up, and I was like, "You didn't go to like the place where everything's gold."
No, it's like, what?
He's like, "What?"
I've finished it. I hugged my mum.
Yeah,
that was the end.
Yeah, no, yeah, you got stuck on that. That's the party scene thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I would never have known if I didn't ask you. I would have just gone. That was a very strange ending, but it's done now. Never finished that game.
Yeah, you just watched the fucking cutscenes.
I didn't even do that in the end.
Well, and now I can't understand how you would not happily, but how it took you a year to do Valhalla, but you won't even put the effort in to do a fucking 6-hour campaign on. Is that because it's only like 6 hours? You know, it's sort of pointless.
No, it's just if you took all the combat out, and I just had to run around and then go to a cutscene and run around and I'd do it because I thought the story was fantastic and the banner was just the combat was just so boring. I really didn't enjoy it.
It did get a bit. It
was fun at first.
Yeah, I loved Cult of the Lamb. Very cool indie game. I very much enjoyed it, but it very much is one of those games where once you've killed the final boss, there is nothing else to do. Kind of like Elden Ring.
I was talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, but yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Cult of the Lamb.
No.
Both brilliant games. All three of these are brilliant games. Wait, what? What do you mean you were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy?
When I said that I'd rather just walk
Oh,
around.
what, you'd rather not have the... No, I like the combat in Guardians of the Galaxy.
So boring. It got so stale. I didn't like the enemy types. It was just...
To be fair, you played it on console. I played it on PC, so it obviously would have played differently.
I even got to the point where I put it on the easiest setting just so I could get through the combat.
That's pathetic.
So quick. Yeah, but not because it was hard, just because I just wanted it done ASAP. It was just waves of enemies and then story and then waves of enemies and then story. No, there was nothing to it.
You wouldn't have survived doing it on PC, to be fair, with your shitty wrists. Well, you wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah, just fuck you. How about that?
Oh, God.
Come on, this is your show. Keep the fucking thing rolling.
Your fucking show as well. What are you on about? You wrote this list.
No.
What? Oh, look, no. What's the next bit?
When it's your intro, you do the topics and you go through it.
Here's my next bit, innit?
It's all your bits.
This is all mine. What are you bringing to this?
I'm charisma.
What are you bringing to this? Because I am flicking through this list and there's nothing on here that is you.
Red hot jokes. You said that
there's nothing.
You said that is enough. That we'll work with that. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, but I thought
come
you was
on,
going to
let's get this podcast started because I got fucking watch Lord of the Rings.
Actually, Rings of Power. But I thought you was going to add something to this. What's 89?
Well, we'll get there.
Oh, that's the.
We'll get there. Stop spoiling it.
I need to make an apology.
Oliver.
Final Fantasy MMO.
Oliver.
I said in the last episode that it was shit. Because I played it for a couple of hours and thought, no, it's not my cup of tea. I think I'm now 60 plus hours in.
60? You tell this guy don't do a lot.
Yeah, I'm 60 plus hours in, I think. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. What a brilliant MMO this is. It's mega. I'm telling you now, World of Warcraft could learn some serious fucking things from this game. Honestly, don't get me wrong, some of it's a bit skew-iffy, but for the majority of it, the combat's great, the visuals are great, and I love the fact that...
You said you hated the visuals.
No, but they grow on you. Honestly, they grow on you. I'm going to stop giving game reviews altogether because I shoot myself in the foot because everyone who listens, all 10 of you, must probably sit there and think, this guy hates everything. And then I come back next week and go, I fucking love all of this. So this is it. After this episode, I'm not going to come on here anymore and say that this game's shit and that game's shit without having given it at least 10 hours worth of gameplay.
I'll lend you FIFA 22.
No, don't give me that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Except for FIFA and COD. But I like COD and I do like FIFA, but I don't.
But with that in mind,
but we've been over that before.
Can we jump on either? We're going. I was thinking maybe we could give each other tasks for the week, force each other to play a game.
Yeah, but that's long though, isn't it?
Well, no, not necessarily.
You tried that with Mass Effect, didn't
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It force you to play Mass Effect or Cyberpunk. You got to play one of them. Mass Effect is... Jesus Christ. We can't all be wrong. You just got to get through it. You just got to get through that first one.
It's like Star Wars.
What do you mean it's like Star Wars?
You just got to slog through it.
Well, it's not a slog for me. It's slogs for chumps like you.
It's slogs for people that don't like shitty effects.
You're just a worm. Just a bottom feeder worm.
Yeah. Anyway, Final Fantasy, I won't talk about it for long, but one of my favourite things about it is that we call them alts in the MMORPG world. You might not understand what an alt is.
Alternate ability, alternate character.
Alternate character. So you can have obviously more than one character. In the games like World of Warcraft, if you wanted to be a certain class, say a warrior, you had to make that character a warrior.
A what?
A warrior then. And if, say, you decided halfway through your leveling career, you decided to change your mind and go, actually, I want to be a priest, you'd have to make a brand new character, start all again from level 1. Final Fantasy, one character, and you can fucking do it all. You've got to level it all up, but it levels up so quick, but you can just switch on the fly. You ain't got to fucking make anything new, and I love that. I think that's fantastic. So, like, the class that I'm playing at the moment is called a Lancer. I like it, but there's other classes that I've tried that are much more fun. So I don't have to worry about losing all my progress. I can just switch.
Have you used the Samurai yet?
I haven't unlocked it yet. You unlock that at level 50. But that is what I'm going to be jumping on. The minute I get that, I can't fucking wait. Because I haven't actually seen any in the open world.
What is the difference? What can't you use as what? Or can you only use certain weapons, equip certain clothes?
So every class has specific weapons that they can only use. In order for you to swap your classes, so as a Lancer, obviously I have a Lance. If I was to be a pugilist, pugilist. Basically, a fucking geezer that uses knuckle dusters. I have to put on the knuckle dusters and things like that. So they do have specific gear and specific weapons.
What does a samurai have? A katana?
Mm-hmm. Samurai has a big old fucking sword. And I cannot wait. So I got to get to 50. I'm 37 at the moment. And yeah, it's good fun. Oh, a little bubble in my throat then.
Oliver?
It's very good fun. And I will leave Final Fantasy on that because I could talk about it for a very long time. What other bullshit have we got? Last of Us. You got to pitch in here. You got to fucking... Because yes, but we spoke and you said, I haven't seen anything on this.
Listen, it's
I
your
haven't bothered
show.
to look at
when
anything
it's my
on it.
show, I reel off the
What
topics.
do you mean?
When it's your show, you reel off the topics and I jump in.
I have just reeled off the topics and you didn't
No, you
jump
just
in.
go, what's fucking next? Well, let's make this massive pause
said-
while I
I
look.
said-
Why don't you look whilst you're finishing talking and then jump straight in?
I said
You're
Last of
shit
Us.
at
Why
this.
aren't you
You're
looking
shit.
as well? It's ridiculous.
Connor, I need a new co-host. The
You're
only
putting-
problem is we got nowhere to do
They're
it.
putting nothing into this Last of Us bit. I don't know anything. I haven't bothered looking.
Well, that's why you say, next up, The Last of Us, and I go, bang. And
All
I
right,
jump
pause. Next up, The Last of Us remake.
in. Absolutely crazy. The reviews have come out. Not great. I mean, they're not bad.
What do you mean? You said it was 95 and 89.
No, you don't fucking listen, do you? You're getting on my tits.
Sorry.
The Last of Us remake. The new one. The remake of the first one. I'm confused by what I'm just saying myself now. The Last of Us remake has Metacritic at 89. The Last of Us remaster and The Last of Us the original on PS3, The Last of Us remaster being on PS4, is on Metacritic at 95.
Wait.
So the remake is 6 points below the remaster on PS4 and the original.
So the remake was the cash grab.
Well, you said it.
Yeah. The remake was the attempt at getting some more dough out of a game that needed to be left alone.
Now, I've seen very little. I've seen some screenshots and the odd bit of video footage. It looks better.
So it fucking should.
I mean, I've seen some complaints saying they haven't completely changed the way the game plays. Some of the combat feels better, but still, it's it's The Last of Us. So yeah, but the biggest complaint I see people have is the £70 price tag.
It's fucking stupid, and obviously people are buying it, and people are buying the special collector's editions and the Firefly.
Might I
editions
reiterate
and
that this
blah,
is
blah,
the
blah, blah.
guy that has a Last of Us tattoo and a Last of Us bag. So if he's not all for it, then you must listen.
Oh yeah, I'm not all for it. At this point, I've got tattoos of everything, so don't really listen to me. I just like getting them, but I don't know. It's not. I really don't understand.
Sold out on Amazon.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It's popular. I don't doubt that it's popular, and I don't doubt that it isn't good. But it was good to begin with. So you've taken a game that was already fantastic.
£65 it is.
That's just crazy. For what? For better graphics.
You know why? You know why?
Yes, but I don't understand. I don't.
You do understand. They're making a Last of Us series. They want them to go,
they want to
that
cash in.
series is fantastic.
Yeah,
oh,
let me
well,
get the
I want
game.
to play the game. Oh, it's on PS3. Oh, it's on PS4. I've got a PS5. Well, let me find the nice shiny thing. Oh, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
You know? That's what they're trying to achieve. You can see where they're going with it. It just feels like
but it's
wasted resources.
Released on PS3.
Oh, no.
It's PS5. We're 2 years into PS5. What's going on, Mum? What? I don't understand. I don't get it. I really can't understand it. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to wait until it's in the bargain bucket. And even then, I won't bother because there's nothing. It's a single player campaign game. So there is nothing new.
So one and done.
The story has not been changed. You may have changed aspects of the combat. The graphics may look better. You may have changed the textures of the grass. The rain may sound heavier. But it doesn't change the story of the game, which is fantastic. I'm not ripping The Last of Us. I'm ripping the fact that it did not need to be done. What a waste of resources it has been.
Yeah, they could have been heavily into production for something.
Yeah, I think the series is going to be great.
Oh yeah,
I think that will be fantastic. I cannot wait for it. I just think that, on one hand, I understand that there will be people who, because obviously we're getting on in age. I know you're getting on further than I am. But there will be people who are 14, 15, 16, whatever, who went the same age that I was when I first played The Last of Us and may want a slice of that, but want it with the updated graphics and everything. So I understand that there may be a somewhat of a market for it, but it weren't something that needed doing. It really weren't, and especially for 70 quid. What the fuck? Where's that come from? 70 quid?
65.
Yes, but if I go on the PlayStation store, it'll be fucking 70 quid, won't it?
It's a lot of money, like you say, just for textures and graphics. And like I say, there might be the odd improvement, but then there'll be people out there that have probably played The Last of Us on PS3 or PS4 multiple times. I mean, I bought The Last of Us remaster for PS4.
Yeah, so did I.
I played it. I didn't finish it.
No, neither did I. Because I knew what was going to happen.
Exactly. So I just played it. I don't know why I bought it.
You have you have The Last of Us, the original PS3, and then you would have had the people that bought it on PS4.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, you couldn't play PS3 games on PS4.
No.
So that I kind of understand. You can play PS4 games on PS5.
So did they? Because I don't want to get it wrong. Was it? You might not know either, but was it PS3 and then PS4 and then they remastered it, or was it PS3 and then they remastered it for PS4?
What do you mean?
Last of Us 1.
Last of Us 1 only came out on PS3.
PS3, so then they remastered it for PS4, and now
came out right at the end of the console generation.
And now they haven't remade it; they've remastered it. It's not a remake because nothing story-wise has changed. You can't. I don't think that you can change little tweaks of the combat and the graphics and then call that a remake. You've remastered it.
To a degree, I mean, yeah, look at Final Fantasy VII Remake. The whole thing, bottom up, like it's complete. I don't know if you ever played it, but obviously the comparison's mental. I mean, one game came out in probably like 1999.
Yeah.
The other one came out in fucking 2021 or whatever it was. But yeah, I don't know. The only thing that would have got me to buy this would have been if they'd incorporated the multiplayer on it, because I loved the multiplayer. I know you didn't. I loved it, but they're just. Some people will play The Last of Us over and over again. I like I said about Last of Us 2 and Last of Us 1, they're one and dones for me. Kind of like God of War. Once I'm done. I platinumed it. I went back and mopped everything up because I loved it so much. But I wouldn't. It's a long way to go and start it again.
But having grown up, I didn't like the multiplayer when I was younger. But there's like a 10-year gap. So there's been games in the past or just general things that I used to hate.
Well, look at Final Fantasy last week.
Well, yeah.
Took you a week. Now you love it.
No Man's Sky. Obviously, they've done a lot of work with that. But it doesn't mean that maybe if I was given the online, like the multiplayer now, but a PS5 version, maybe I'd fucking love it. So I don't know why they've got rid of that market, why you wouldn't just include the multiplayer. Maybe because it costs a lot, because you've got to obviously have the service for it and blah, blah, blah.
Well, they are making the factions again, but it's a completely different multiplayer component. So I don't know, but obviously that's going to be separate anyway. So
yeah, I don't. I'm not ripping anyone who's paid the 65 quid, the 70 quid, or even more for the different editions. You do whatever you want. It's your money. You're a gamer. We've all got to stand together. But personally, I just think it's a waste of money and a waste of time. and I don't think my opinion will change on that because I thought the original was amazing and it didn't need touching. Leave it.
I wholeheartedly agree. I won't be buying it, and I'll be honest with you, and this isn't because I don't like it. If that was free on PlayStation Plus,
I wouldn't.
I still wouldn't play it.
No, I wouldn't bother.
I've just got no interest. The story's done. I know the story.
Yeah.
I played The Last of Us 2. Once again, a fantastic game. I literally probably would give that 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Faultless. I'm surprised that game even exists. How fluid and everything it is. And the story is phenomenal. But I won't play it again. Because there's no reason to.
There is no need to, and I think I enjoy the story more having it as a memory than I do replaying it all over again.
It's the same. I know people are different. One of my friends has just got through watching all of Game of Thrones again.
Love that.
Yeah, but for me, once I've watched that and I'm done. You know, I might watch the odd clip of my favourite. I often watch bits of Ragnar Lothbrok on Vikings on YouTube because I like it. But I wouldn't want to sit through the whole series again because I know there's a load of dud episodes that are just going to bore the shit out of me.
Yeah, I think you can watch through stuff again because you can switch off and do other shit in the background, and then you will know if there's like I do it with Lord of the Rings. I can happily sit there and watch all of them. However,
films are different though to TV series.
Yeah, but you can watch that shit in the background. You can't fucking play a game in the background, can you? You have to sit there and really give it your time to do it, which is yeah.
He also watched Breaking Bad again for like the third time.
I love Breaking Bad.
The thing is, with the reason I can understand things like that because obviously you know how it all folds out. So when you're watching it again, you catch a lot of different things that you did in the first time, and each time he's watched it, he said he's caught more stuff. And I get that, that's cool. But like you say, I suppose, you can watch that in the background. You can not pay much attention, can be doing other things.
Like Friends. Fuck knows how many times I've watched all of that just in the background. Just background noise.
Easy watching, isn't it?
Yeah.
Friends,
yeah, and I enjoy that. But with games, it's completely different. You've got to give it your time and attention. And I just can't, knowing how long the campaigns are for The Last of Us 1 and Part 2, it's a lot of time to devote. There's no quick. You can't just blitz through that shit. I know people try, but it still takes a while.
It's a story-driven game, and the whole point is to absorb the story and get immersed in it. So, yeah, you don't want to be burning through that. Well, that's that, isn't it?
That is that. Yeah.
Next thing.
It's what we've been playing.
No,
Sorry, did I butt in on you? Fucking no, it's not.
No, it's not. Just let me do it. We had a question on Twitter from one of our listeners, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. Very much appreciated. And in a nutshell, we won't give his username, or his surname
because we haven't got his permission.
Yeah, and we're not there. We're not them people.
No.
But yeah, thanks for the question. His question in a nutshell was: do you prefer older games or newer games? He gave an example of I'm not too clued up on Final Fantasy, but one of the Final Fantasies being a lot better than the newer ones.
Yes, I
believe
it was. Do you prefer older games that were essentially?
I'll tell you what. Let's just read the question.
That's a good fucking idea, isn't it? Yeah, let's do that.
Great pod, chaps. Congrats on the 10th. Why, thank you, Sam. We appreciate it. Be interesting to know on one of your future pods if you both prefer older quality games or modern, not so good ones. I.e., Final Fantasy has been crap since Final Fantasy X, but some people prefer newer because more modern, quicker, and better graphics, etc. So, Leng Doggy Dog, where do you sit with this?
It's such a difficult one because it's so difficult. I sat there with Steph trying to really figure out what would be some good games to add to that question. The one that Steph come up with straight away, and it is one that I will go with, and obviously when we've spoken about it on this episode, is Assassin's Creed 2 and then Assassin's Creed Origins. Couldn't stand Origins. Fucking loved Assassin's Creed 2. Now, Assassin's Creed 2 came out in 2009. Origins came out in 2017. So there's quite a big gap there. And I'm only 25. So when it was 2009, I was a wee little kid. So I can't really go further back than that, unfortunately. And yeah, me personally, much prefer Assassin's Creed 2 and the older ones compared to the new ones. I won't say much about it because we've just fucking spoken about it. I'm trying desperately to think of other games that I much preferred when they first come out.
Well, I'll take over. What do you think?
I mean, I've got one, but yeah, you crack on.
Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3. All 10 out of 10s. Fantastic. Best games you could ever play. Then Metal Gear Solid 4 for PS3. Big jump. Not really great, but it kind of followed on from them in terms of gameplay. Then Metal Gear Solid 5, whilst renowned for being game-changing in the genre, it just didn't have the same feel because it went open world basically.
Yeah.
And it seems that nowadays every game has to be open world. It has to be open world. It has to have 100 billion things to do.
Yep.
Whereas you're looking at Metal Gear Solid 1, 2 and 3, very linear. Now obviously I was a lot younger when I was playing these games and I had no money or source of income, so I just played what I had. You know, things were different then.
Yep.
But I probably played Metal Gear Solid 1, 2 and 3. Especially Metal Gear Solid 2. I must have played that game to completion at least minimum 10 times. I'd done it on the hardest setting, European Extreme, it was called. Hardest setting.
European Extreme.
Yeah, there was normal, hard, extreme and European Extreme. I'd done it, I'm pretty sure, European Extreme, you have to do the whole game without getting spotted. I'd done that. I literally, and this is before the days of trophies and achievements. There's no proof of this, but I know I did. And I played it over and over and over again. But now, with Metal Gear Solid 5, I played it, I completed it, didn't play it again. It was just like, that's that. It's open world, but there's something to be said for contained linear stories as opposed to everything being ginormous, open world, because there's so many times in open world games where you're just travelling from one place to another, running back to somewhere to hand this over, or you just don't want all that.
I think in today's day and age, as a games developer, I think you deserve some form of respect from having the bollocks to bring out a game that isn't open world, a game that once it is done, you are done. That's it. You can't milk it for anything else. I think it like you just said, everyone wants to play an open world game. They want shit to do. So coming out of a game that has a 30-hour campaign and then that's it, and there will be no DLC. That is the game done. You can throw it away after that. I think it's something that you don't see much of now, and
I'm all for DLC.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it up again. Mass Effect trilogy, all very linear. They're open in terms of you can go to open spaces, you can travel to different planets. But in terms of it being open world, it's not. There's always, the story keeps going because you're going through the motions. You're not, like I said about Valhalla, you're going through 10, 15 hours of just shite until you get to the next story bit. And then the story bit was always the best bit. It was very good and exciting to see where it went. And Mass Effect followed that trend until Andromeda. And obviously that got ridiculed for its bugs. But it went open world. Yeah. It went massive. It went, you can travel anywhere, go to this planet, fucking drive around open, vast spaces of nothingness, which potentially could end up doing what Starfield does, which is nerve-wracking, but there you are. It's something to be said for contained linear stories where the story just pulls you through rather than you chasing the story all the time. Because the trouble I have with RPGs like that, the only game that's ever done, in my opinion, open world perfectly, and I mean perfect, is The Witcher 3, which is why it's my favourite game of all time. Because there's the main story to follow, and you can go and do the side quests, but you get confused with what's the side quest and what's the main quest, because the side quests are so good, so important. Whereas most games, you get sucked out of it because you're following the main quest, but then you'll go and do 10 side quests. They've just got no relevance to anything you're doing. Yeah. And you've got this really important task you're supposed to be achieving, i.e. saving the world. But you've just gone and helped this woman find her chicken. You know what I mean? It's like, it just seems stupid. So it pulls you out of it a little bit. Whereas The Witcher was always like side quests. Obviously, there are some dumb ones, but The Witcher was always like, like blurred the lines between main quest and
Yeah.
side quest, so you'd get a bit confused, and everything felt important. And that's the only game that I can ever say has done that perfectly.
It's quite a difficult question to answer properly, because there's so many different genres of games and titles where some of the first ones were shit and the latest ones were good. Some of the latest versions of certain games are good, and you know what I mean. There's so much to choose from, and it really does depend on. I would probably go more towards I prefer newer games to older games, but that comes from a graphics kind of place, and I just think that games now are so much better than previous games, but they're only better because of the games before them.
Facts.
So
First time I've ever agreed with you.
yeah, but it makes complete sense, and I think you will always have people who say are 10, 20 years older than myself, say the people who are late 30s, early 40s, whatever, or even maybe slightly younger, that sit in a different gaming generation to me. So like I've got a friend called Neil who's more than happy. He's got a full-on arcade machine.
Oh, Neil.
With like 1 billion games on it. He's more than happy to sit there and play on that, and he does. I'd find it boring as fuck. But he loves it because he's got all his childhood games on it, so he's obsessed with it. But if you gave me an arcade machine that had the very first Ratchet and Clank on it, the first God of War, I'm not going to play it. I'm not interested in it. I might play it for 5 minutes, but then I'm going to go sit on my PS5 because I prefer how games are now to how games used to be. But like I say, that's only because of the games that were.
It's an impossible discussion because everything.
Yeah, it's a
appeals.
shit question, really. Really shit.
It's everything appeals to different people. So, i.e., like Zelda. You played Zelda games before?
No, but Steph is a
dirty dog.
Absolute fanatic.
Zelda Ocarina of Time on N64, still the highest rated game of all time, 99 on Metacritic. Fantastic. I played that as a child, just over and over again. I got stuck on the water temple for like 6 months. Genuinely, I couldn't do it, and there was no cheats for me. There was no internet. I couldn't work out how to do it. But I got through it. Fantastic memories, fantastic game. Same with Majora's Mask, not so good, but still, same concept applies. And then you fast forward, I don't know, 15, 20 years, and you got Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Which is renowned for being, once again, game-changing, innovative. That one. And
you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, dickhead. But to me, I got bored of it. It's too much nothingness. But people shout from the hills, and that is a huge, huge rating on Metacritic.
You know, Steph loves that game so much, she can't bring herself to complete it.
Yeah, no,
she has not completed it.
I understand.
Because she is literally at the final bit, but won't do it. And for 4 years now, I have begged her to complete it. And it's the same with Tomb Raider. She won't complete them because she loves them so much. And I envy that sort of love and compassion when it comes to gaming, and at the same time I find it so fucking annoying because it's like you're missing out. If you love the game so much, do the developers a favour and finish it so you can enjoy that story. But I think it's...
She's not going to be happy with me saying Breath of the Wild's a bit mid.
Well, probably not. I'm saying very little when it comes to Zelda because I've said in the past that I don't like it, but I genuinely haven't given it any time because I'm not a Nintendo...
They completely changed the formula with Zelda. So Zelda from my day, like Game Boy, I mean, I played it on the SNES, Link to the Past. I played it on the Nintendo 64. I didn't play it on the NES, although I did have a NES. They used to be, you'd go around, it'd be open world,
yeah.
But it was like a general direction. But if you didn't listen to where the direction was and you forgot, you'd be buggered. You'd just find your way, you'd stumble about. And you'd come into a dungeon, and then you'd find, I don't know, a bomb glove in that dungeon, which is like the special item of that dungeon. And you'll need that bomb glove to carry on through the dungeon, and you'll need that bomb glove to kill the boss, right? And then once you come out of that dungeon, there'd be loads of places in the map that needed a bomb glove that you couldn't get to before. So you're like, oh, I remember that place. I'll go there. And, and that was the gameplay loop. You go into another dungeon, fire a hook shot, so then you could fly over caverns you couldn't before in the open world. They took that out completely for Breath of the Wild and replaced it with like there's over like 100 shrines or something stupid, more than that, and they're just tiny little puzzles. You go in, you do a bit, and then you get some crappy reward, nothing amazing. And then there's like the 3 or 4 big bosses, but there's no, it's just took away all the Zelda. Like if they incorporated the dungeons with Breath of the Wild, it would be, for me, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but I think with games like that, you've said so yourself, you got stuck at certain points because you had nothing. You didn't have the internet. You didn't have. There were no cheat codes. So you had to figure that shit out on your own. Games like that would not survive now because you can just Google everything. So you have to come up with something else, because if you go, oh fuck, I can't get through this wall because I need a certain thing, I don't know what I need. Most people. And you will get a fair decent amount of people that will genuinely not bother Googling anything and figure it out for themselves. But most people, and I probably would throw myself into that category, would give it 5 minutes and go, oh, fuck it, I'll just Google it. And it spoils that. But I know what you mean. You get something and it unlocks an entire half of a map. But
yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying about that. I'm saying they completely changed the Zelda formula. So instead of having the dungeons, they took that away and just made a massive open world with virtually nothing in it. It's very pretty. It's very cool. You can climb anything you can do, but there's not really a lot going on. They completely changed the formula.
Yeah, but it must have worked because of how popular it is.
Yeah, but it works for a certain fan.
Well, it must work for a lot of people, because to the point where you have a Genshin Impact, which is literally a carbon copy, just with a different
then there's
character.
a lot of people that sit on my side of the fence. It's like, this isn't Zelda. Same with you as Assassin's Creed. It's exactly the same.
No, I agree. Yeah,
it's not Zelda. It's an open world Zelda with a bit of Zelda mechanics. It's not Zelda no more.
Steph's going to be fuming with
I know,
you.
but these are facts. But she probably didn't play the Zeldas I played when I was a kid.
No.
What was her first Zelda game? Breath of the Wild.
Why are you asking me questions like that when I don't know the answers?
Well, no, I'm interested. Maybe
I don't know. I
don't
think it was Breath of the Wild. I don't, because she would have told me, and I will get it in the ear for not fucking remembering, because I have a very bad memory. But she there will be games before Breath of the Wild that Zelda base that she'll love.
I mean, they started leaning away from the Zelda formula.
Probably Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time was fantastic. That was like the pinnacle of Zelda. I say, but some people will dislike the direction they've gone with it, like myself, and some people will be like, "This is amazing."
Steph
and it just depends.
has the flute.
The Ocarina.
Yeah, she has one.
Yeah, that's from Ocarina of Time.
It's very cool, and it actually works.
Yeah, no, I like him. I'm a huge fan of Zelda, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Breath of the Wild, but I was just like, this isn't Zelda for me. Same with you with Assassin's Creed. But going back to what you said about Googling things, I 100% fall in that category now. Back in the day, I'd bang my head against the wall being like, if I don't do this myself, I'll get no self-satisfaction.
I failed.
But nowadays, where my time's more limited, and I get, maybe 2 hours a night on the PlayStation if I'm lucky, my time's valuable. If I'm stuck on a puzzle and it takes me more than 5 minutes and I'm like, oh, fuck this, I'll just Google it.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got time or patience with it anymore.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I'd bang my head against the wall until I got it, Yeah, so it's all changed. But yeah, the interesting to ask Sam, actually, so if you can let us know, as you used the Final Fantasy example, the best example I can think of is the Final Fantasy 7 to Final Fantasy 7 remake. Because if you played the original Final Fantasy 7 on the PS1, have you played the remake on PS4/PS5, and what one do you prefer? Because you've got one that is like nostalgia, and you played it when you were a kid, and I didn't, but I know that's how people feel about it, and it's lovely. Or you've got the remake. Does the remake trump the original? What do you prefer?
We want to know.
I do want to know
your thoughts, Sam. We want to know, and we want to know the thoughts of other people, because I thought that when you sent me the screenshot of it was a tweet, wasn't it?
Tweet, yeah.
I thought, one of Ash's friends is asking a question, and I asked him when we met at the studio today. I'll call it a studio.
WTBHQ.
I asked him whether or not you were a friend, Sam. And he said, no, I like that. I like that someone completely fucking random has asked us a question and we've managed to fill about 15 minutes.
Well, it's a
of
bit
the
abrupt to
podcast.
not. He is a friend now.
Is he a friend now?
He's become my friend.
He's
He's
a-
become our friend.
he's
He's
a
a friend
what's-
of the show.
Oh, sorry.
Sam, friend of the show.
Sam,
Sam
friend of the show.
Listen to this, right? Sam, first friend of the show.
What?
So in 200 episodes, Sam will be the first friend of the show.
It'll be the very first friend of the show.
And the first 10 people to send
Connor's
us money.
going to be fucking fuming
The
with
first
that.
10 people to send us money, I'm going to get tattooed.
Does that mean if I send you some money?
No. And I'm going to get it done on my foot so it rubs off.
On the palm of your hand.
Yeah. But no, really, honestly, thanks for your question, Sam. It's lovely to have
some engagement.
Yeah, have some engagement, have some feedback, have some conversation, and it gives us talking points rather than us scratching around in the dirt trying to think about stuff to talk about.
Yeah, because that is what we do. We open up the equivalent of an empty bin that hasn't been washed and try and see if there's any scraps at the bottom. And so far, it's been working.
Yeah. So
But
if you do want
eventually
to
it
send
won't.
questions in, like Sam, the Twitter is @what'sthebutton.
Button
And
What's the
the
Button?
Instagram
is at What's the Buttons
is it?
podcast.
Yeah, that's it. What's the Buttons podcast.
At What's the Buttons.
So if you've got any
podcast.
questions, feel free to send them to us at either of them. We will be sure to talk about them.
We've also started putting up. Well, I'll put up one, but I'll put up more reels on Instagram, little clips that we've gained. And I would love it if, because we get more people that see them than we do our actual fucking posts that we put on Instagram. I would love for people to bombard that with comments telling Ash to put on his fucking mic when he does his clips so we can hear what he's saying and if people are screaming. Because all of mine, it's all allowed. So everyone's screaming. Whereas on his, can't hear fuck all. And it's annoying because he messages me, he's like, oh, I got this clip. Everyone was screaming, but you can't hear it. That's what people want to hear, man. They want to hear the screaming. When I put some of mine up, you'll understand. Because people go, oh, you sound like an idiot.
I'll tell you
And
what,
they'll love it.
when you put yours up, I'll be turning the volume down, going, fucking hell, that's annoying. I wish there was no
Just
sound
proper
to this
screaming.
clip.
No, I'm telling you now. People will agree with it.
I don't think so. But yeah, once again, thanks for your question, Sam. We haven't really answered it. If I had to go and sit on one side of the fence, do I prefer older games or newer games? I would say I prefer newer games.
I prefer newer games.
But I don't want to go over the whole thing again. But one more thing I will add is what older games suffer from is a lot of what I said on Mass Effect 1. A lot of running about with nothing going on. You know, they've streamlined that because you need a lot of retention, especially in open world games. I watched a documentary once and it was like, they need something to happen or to see something or to be engaged by something in an open world every like 45 seconds or something.
Yeah.
And anything less than that, even if it's like a mountain over there or there's a fire over there needs to be something constantly engaging the player. Older games don't really hold that retention. And it's hard. Sometimes nostalgia is best left as nostalgia.
Yep.
You go back and try and play an old game, you're like,
I agree. I 100%
this
agree.
is a bit dirty.
World of Warcraft Classic does exactly that, and I can't do it.
Exactly. So yeah, I'd say I side with Langdog on that, on the newer game side. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot of games that I wish were remastered, but it might ruin it.
That's that then. So we do what we've been playing? Have you actually been playing anything?
Yeah, it's a staple. It's a staple of the podcast.
Yeah, but last week you hadn't played anything, and I don't know if you've played anything this week.
Well,
I've seen you pop online every now and then.
Regardless, we're talking about it.
Well, what have you been playing?
Call of Duty.
Right, well, that's that bit done. I've been playing...
You saw my Call of Duty clip. You saw that triple kill Semtex. If you
was
didn't
good.
see it, go on What's the Buttons podcast on Instagram and watch the clip.
Yeah, what's the clip of
I'll
it?
go
It was a
through
decent
it.
Clip.
We had no chance of winning. It was a 3v3. We was down the bottom of the cliff. They was at the top. The circle was about to move. We will never know whether it pulled towards them up the mountain or it pulled away down. Either way, I don't see a way we win, because if it pulls away, we've got to run out in front of them while they just beam us off the top of the cliff. If it pulls to them, we've got to try and run uphill when they know there's only one way for us to get up there. I got beamed, as you can see in the clip.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm in trouble. I'm not down, but I'm in trouble. I threw a Semtex. I got a hit marker. It didn't break
That
his
glorious
armor.
body armor.
It just
popped
hit.
up.
It just hit him. The second one I threw came up with the big notification that it's stuck to this individual. This individual panicked. This individual ran to his teammates screaming for help, unaware of the situation. They said, "What's going?" Boom. Victory Royale. A triple kill Semtex.
Yeah.
They must have been fuming.
Yeah, you would be fucking fuming.
In my time of playing Call of Duty, and as he stated, it still says, I don't know if these are facts, but if you go on the leaderboards on Call of Duty, it still says I'm in the top 0% for kills. And I stopped playing it for about a year. And I've probably thrown, God, say throw...
Thousands.
Yeah, say I throw one Semtex a game. I've probably thrown 3,000 Semtexes. And I've probably got about 5 kills in the whole time. And there's 3 of them.
There's 3 of them.
Right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a joyous occasion. And many lols were had this day. What a victory royale it was. But yeah, I've basically been playing Call of Duty. I dabbled in Destiny last Friday, I believe, or Saturday. Had a little go. Got sucked right back into it. But when the boys want to drop into Caldera, unfortunately it's called, not Verdansk, I'm there. I'm dropping in with the boys. But when the boys aren't available, I'm jumping back into Destiny and I'm cruising on through.
Love that. I love the enthusiasm.
What about you?
ESO and Final Fantasy. Haven't touched the PlayStation whatsoever.
And Cult of the Lamb.
Oh yeah, and Cult of the Lamb. Yeah, I felt a duty to complete Cult of the Lamb because I promised everyone that I would. So I did that quick time, and then
Respect that.
And then off the back of the last episode, saying how I felt bad because I'd pulled Steph into ESO again and then just dropped her there. I went back to ESO and am thoroughly enjoying it. I only play it when I'm with Steph, so that I'm not missing out on anything with her and she's not missing out on anything with me. She's free to play it whenever she fucking wants. And then in the other times, I'm playing Final Fantasy. Trying to get hold of a mount, you got to wait. You got to get about a good, decent way through the main story. And it took me hours to realise that I was doing all sorts of side quests going, how the fuck do I get one of these mounts?
Why didn't you just Google it?
I did after about 20 hours. And some of the mounts that you can buy, I'm going to spend some money. You can be a snowman. A full-on snowman with gloves and everything, and when you run, you're in the snowman. And when you run, you lift up the snowman's head and you're in it, just fucking running. It looks fantastic. And there's just loads of shit.
How much are we talking?
It is $12.
So
it's on sale at the
It's
moment.
about £9.
So I'm gonna be getting it, and there's loads of other shit. So it's not looking good, breath. It's
not looking good.
But you have to pay a monthly subscription, much like World of Warcraft. And the bit I love about it is when I bought it, got 30 days free, hit level 30, they give me 15 days free as well. So I've got another 2 weeks for free, and I'm hoping that when I hit, say, level 50 or 60, they give me some more game time. There is a glitch at the moment, which I read a little bit about before I got back into like playing Final Fantasy, and it said that players were logging in and had millions worth of gold, or they call it gil or Jill, whatever, and that the Final Fantasy developers were praising people who were giving that money back to the creators, and they were rewarding them because obviously they're logging in, and it's a nice community in there going, well, this ain't one. Anyway, when I started playing, about 10 hours in, I had about 7,000 gold. I logged in yesterday, over 1 million.
Wow.
I'm not going to say fuck all. I'm going to keep that dough. I turned to Steph and I went, I've been given the glitch.
So where's that come from then?
I don't know. It's a glitch or something.
What did they say when they're praising people for giving it back? How are they doing that?
I don't know. Because you can talk to support, and I'd imagine, because I haven't done it yet, but on World of Warcraft they're called Games Masters, and you can physically, you used to be able to, and you still sort of can, but they made it slightly more difficult. But you used to be able to physically talk to someone like a live chat, and they could do whatever they fucking wanted with your account. They could make you float in the sky if they wanted to, or just flat out kill you. Obviously, the abuse of power. So I would imagine it's the same with Final Fantasy, where you can just talk to someone. And I would imagine you'd go, oh, I've logged in and I've got all this money that I didn't. That's not mine. Take it away.
So that sounds like an awful lot for where you're at in the game. Then
It is an awful lot. When you
how much you average in a quest?
like a couple hundred.
Ooh,
I'm
that's
sitting with the millies.
So you need to look into what rewards these are getting for handing this cash back.
Maybe I should have a look just to see.
Because they might give you the snowman.
Maybe they give me a mount or something like that, or I just pay the $12 and keep my millions and build upon that millions.
Million.
I'll find out. If it's worth it for me. This time next week, I'll be upset because I've been banned.
They let you pay a month subscription first, then they'll ban you.
Yeah, then they'll ban me. Other than that, I haven't really been playing anything else. I was going to before we started the podcast, but I haven't, so I'll do it after, is re-download Battlefield. I haven't done that yet. I saw a clip of it today.
Looks delicious.
It does look very good, and I just want in it. It was everyone in a lift going up.
Classic Battlefield.
And they had they put 2 shields on the lift.
Love
and obviously it was just full on fucking warfare when the lift doors opened, and the people that were in the lift were the ones that were victorious. And I just want that sort of gameplay again. And also I'd like a little bit more of an excuse to go on the PlayStation and play with people like yourself and Mark and other people, because there aren't many people that I play with on the laptop. So something like Battlefield is very much something that you can just pick up and drop whenever you want. And like you say, you would always drop in with the boys. Well, we might be dropping in on Battlefield.
Yes, sir.
And that is that. That's me. That's you. That's us. That's everyone.
Tune in next week for our quarter of the year special.
Our quarterly special.
That's crazy. Seriously though, a quarter of the year already.
It's mental, isn't it?
12th episode.
I saw you flicking
months.
through the little bits of paper from when we first sat down in the kitchen and thought, oh, what can we do?
Yeah, we'll disclose them one day when we're massive. It's absolute mess.
You can see our was it a spider chart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went to school a lot more recently than me. You should remember that shit.
No, I don't know. You wrote it all.
I'm nearly 40, bro. Come on now.
You're not nearly 40 though, are you?
Well,
I won't say your age, but you're not nearly 40.
I'm old enough, bro.
He remembers the old games.
Hey, I remember the Neds, bro. You weren't even born.
I ain't got a fucking clue now.
He's confused with the Neds and the SNES. He doesn't even know there was a difference.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's lost on me.
The NES, you put the...
What are they, Nintendo?
Yeah. Yeah,
I ain't got a clue.
Nintendo Entertainment System and the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Honestly, I haven't got
the
a clue.
NES is like a grey box, and you just lift the flap, put the cassette in, push it down, shut the flap. And then the SNES, you used to just put the cartridge in the top, much like the N64.
Revolutionary.
It was revolutionary, yeah. Oh, they were the goats. They were the goats. Don't make them like that no more.
Thank God.
True that. Corrupted game files and blowing in cartridges, I don't miss that.
Well, that's that then, innit? These episodes are getting fucking longer and longer. I love it.
Yes, mum.
It's fantastic, mum. Right, we're going to fuck off.
Yep.
That's everything. Right, goodbye. Uru.
Uru.
Bye-bye.